Go live. So we're setting up a webinar for Facebook Live. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, in the chat box, let Steve know where in the world you're joining us from. It's always exciting for our speakers to know where the people are that are coming in. And you're in for a treat, everyone. This guy knows what he's talking about. Join Steve. There's there. Oh, look at this. Right now. Watch his wisdom nuggets.
All right.
I shouldn't put a capital A on there. I should put a little A, and there we go. Whoa, no, there we go.
Angela likes your shirt, Steve.
Thank you very much.
He is sporting the full-on Hawaiian outfit. We just have it undercover. But we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. Depends on what part of the world you've tuned in. Tom Matson here, along with my co-host, Jeff Bourgeois. We are all part of the Survive and Thrive or Crash and Burn Small Business Success Summit. And we are now speaker 23 out of 28. No pressure, but everyone in the 20s has to be better than the first 20, Steve. Everyone in the 20s better than the first 20. In your case, that'll be like your little pinky.
I'm sure you saved the best for near the last.
Exactly. We have, in your case, anyhow. I can't speak to the guy coming up in a few hours. So that's be me. I can't speak to that. But for you, I am positive we've done that. Jeff, tell everyone who they're going to learn from.
Awesome. So I'm excited to have Steve Sipress here. And Steve is recognized as one of the most requested, in-demand small business sales and marketing consultants in the world. He is the behind-the-scenes go-to marketing advisor for many top business owners and entrepreneurs in all 50 states and 26 countries worldwide in 165 plus different industries. Wow. Welcome, Steve.
And that's when I stopped counting. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're so glad you're here. I see there's a bit of a syncing issue between your video and your lips, but that happens to me all the time. You might want to just turn off any other browsers in the background for a moment, turn off your camera for a few seconds, and then turn it back on. Before we get started with your content, though, Steve, we've been talking all day about entrepreneurs and small business owners and the keys to not just staying alive, but thriving coming out of this. You have, you're like me, you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt more than a few times. What's your take? What's your perspective on the mood of entrepreneurs? You talk to people across America, across the globe, really. What's your mood on where they're at and where their heads are right now? And where's your high level thoughts of where they should be?
What a great question. And leading that end was the real leading part, because it depends is unfortunately the answer, because some people are in a business now that is with no control of their own going through the roof. If they are selling something that is seen now as a necessity that wasn't seen a couple of months ago, they can't even handle all the orders and all the sales coming in, and they're loving life. But on the other hand, if their business is deemed non-essential? See, to me, there's no such thing as a non-essential business. I don't want to get off on a rant, but to make it real quick, every business is essential to the business owner.
Yep.
It's certainly essential to the members of the family of the business owner. It's essential to the employees and their families. It's essential to at least some of their customers, clients, patients, members that want to partake of that business. It's essential to the community they're in, where they provide service, they pay taxes, they help pave the roads, they help pay for the cops and the ambulances and all. I mean, there's no such thing as a non-essential business, but those that are non-essential, they're beside. So there's a worry and fear, a ton there. And where they, in my opinion, loving it. Because that's why we're entrepreneurs. That's why we get into the game. If we wanted certainty, we would have a 9-to-5 job where maybe at a 2% raise every year, and you say yes or no, sir, and you show up when someone tells you, and you dress up, do what someone. We love the role of the uncertainty, the of life. So here it is, the uncertainty.
I gotta jump in. Your video is cutting in and cutting out, so disable your video feed. I have a feeling there's too many Netflix browsers in the Phoenix area right now, and they're messing with your Wi-Fi. So if you can turn your video off, keep your audio on. Let's try that for a bit, because these are nuggets that people have got to hear, and I don't want them to miss this. So just hit the video off part.
Is it off?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, now everyone is doing better.
Well, we're hearing you better. That's what counts.
I instantly increase the mood of everyone because they don't have to avert their eyes.
So I really like what you started to say about, first off, the rant about non-essential, essential. Like, what a bunch of BS, right? I mean, in your business, your people, your tribe, your customers, your suppliers, right? It's pretty darn essential. So thank you for clarifying that. What the government designates is one thing altogether. So,
well, the overall, I'm not an economist, but the overall economy is an interwoven, very complex organism, and every single business is a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no such thing as non-essential. It's like saying, what's the non-essential part of my body that I guess I can just lop off and everything else will be fine? I don't think so. You'll have blood spurting out all over. So no matter what you cut off, no matter how small you think you're cutting off a little part of the economy is bleeding massively as a result.
What's the non-essential part of your body? Well, I got about 30 pounds around my waist I should cut off, but I probably would bleed a lot. So we'll leave that for another day. All right, let's dive into your advice for people to not only survive, but thrive coming through this. Where do you want to start, Steve?
All right, so the topic, my topic is every business needs to be in a list building business. And unfortunately, right now, somebody listening that doesn't have a list of their customers, clients, patient members is looking at me going, all right, but I don't have one. So you're not giving me great advice of how to deal with today and tomorrow, the next day. Maybe not. But if you think that this is the last time that the government, that is all full of themselves now with the power they have to manipulate the masses and let's just shut down everything just because we feel like it, and let's arrest people for walking down the street. I mean, if you think this is the last time there's going to be a massive downturn, shutdown, change, or you can't get hit by a natural disaster or a war, all kinds of chaos can happen. Crises can happen all the time. And at those times, it's the old, what is the old proverb? When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. Well, it's the same thing. When's the best time to build a list? 20 years ago. When's the second best time? Right now. So if you haven't built one up till now, pay attention for the next, whatever I got, 10, 15 minutes here, and at least get started putting one together for the next crisis that comes. You'll be sitting pretty and realizing you have it made because you have a list.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So we agree conceptually we should be in the list building business. We don't have a list, or we suck at creating a list. Where do we start?
You start by offering something of value to people in return for their contact information. Because I don't think I'm the only one who values my contact information. The days are long gone of, give me your name and email and I'll send you my newsletter. It's, oh, sure. And we gave out our email 20 years ago. We gave out our phone number. Those days are gone now. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you going to send me lots of crap I don't want, or spam me or whatever, or I don't want it? So you've got to make it a fair proposition. You consider their contact information valuable to you. You're going to build a list. You have to give them something of value. And to be real good, you want to make it an unfair value proposition. You want to give them something they think is so valuable that they say, what a no-brainer. Of course, I'll give you my name, my cell phone number, my email, my address. I'll give you all that stuff. Thank you very much. So that's the first thing. Figure out what we call a lead magnet that attracts and draws people to you, to give you their information willingly, happily, running to do it, so that now you get their contact information, you get enough of those, and that's what we call a list.
And I think a lot of people overthink the concept of a lead magnet, right? Don't they, Steve? They think it's so complicated. It needs to be so pretty, or it needs to be so this, when it just needs to be valuable to the user, right?
Can be anything. Can be a product or service you're selling right now in your business. I mean, if I go into a bakery and I say, gee, what's that cookie taste? That's a new cookie. I've never seen it. What does it taste like? They don't start describing it to me. I don't know what bakery you go to. Any bakery I've been into, they just say, what do they say? Have a sample.
Try it.
Check it out. Well, that could be a lead magnet. They could just say, everyone who comes in today gets a free cookie. And there you go. Does it have to be fancy, special? Do I have to overthink it for a long? What am I going to give? Anything that your customers, clients, patients, members, your audience, your prospective audience feels is valuable. And then if you said, all you have to do is put in your email and we'll give you a free cookie. Restaurants do that all the time. You sit down, there's a table topper that says, enter your name and email for our VIP club, you get a free dessert. Well, I value that free dessert at $3, $4, $5 on the menu, but to them it costs 30 cents to make. So ideally for a lead magnet, think of something that has a relatively low cost to you, but a high perceived value to the audience. So it makes sense for you to do it, and it's a no-brainer for them to do.
Love it. Okay. So we work on a lead magnet. And by the way, for those that haven't created these on your own, there's lots of really cool software tools where you can put it all together. There's templates. It's all free. My favorite is Canva, C-A-N-V-A, canva.com. If you haven't used it before, I love it because they've got a whole bunch of lead magnet templates. You can just find one that looks cool and it's sort of the style you want and then put your information on it and you're done in like minutes.
True. You can do an online lead magnet if you want. You can do you've seen, we probably all traded our information for a free report, an ebook, a video series. You can do some software, anything at all that your audience is going to feel, wow, that's incredible. All I have to do is give my contact information and I get that. Then you got a winner.
Love it. And the old business card draw bucket in a bricks and mortar business still works today.
Well, that's an advanced strategy. You hit right on it, of course, which is if they feel that one cookie or one of anything is not that valuable, then say, give me your email and I'll enter you in a drawing for a dozen cookies every week for life. Or a color TV. But a drawing is a way to increase the perceived value. So you do some math and you say, I think I'll attract 500 leads. And I'm willing to, let's just do simple math. I'm willing to invest and pay $1 a piece for each lead to get 500 names on my list. I know I can make money paying $1 for their name. They'll buy enough stuff. So instead of saying I'll give everybody something worth $1, I'll give one person something worth $500. And people are very willing to say, I'll give you my email for a chance at whatever they have now, a 72-foot screen TV with surround sound, I don't know, whatever the big size they're doing now, you can probably get it for $500 in an electronic discount store.
Yeah, I think you get like a 128-inch TV now.
Okay, so high perceived value and a low cost view of $1 per person. And if lo and behold, it works twice as well as you thought, and you get 1,000 names, 50 cents a person. So low cost to you, high perceived value. Excellent lead magnet.
All right. What's the next step?
The next step is you now need to build a relationship with the list, because there's a saying, the money is in the list. And that's not exactly true. So there are some people that have tens or hundreds of thousands of names or emails on a list, but they don't have any relationship with the list. So they're not trusted by the list. They're not liked by the people on the list. They liked the lead magnet. How many times have you gotten a lead magnet and then you opt out of the emails because those aren't relevant, or they're bothering me too much, or they're emailing me too often or not often enough, or I don't like what they're saying. So make sure your text messages, your emails, your postcard, whatever you're using to communicate with the list, gets them to know you, gets them to like you, and gets them to trust you. Now you have a relationship with the list where now if someone, asks, just like if someone has a relationship and says, do you know any good places to eat around here? Or do you know any good movies you've seen or any good books you read? If they trust me, then they'll take my recommendation. If they don't, what do I care what that guy says? I watch a movie reviewer, and if I don't know the guy and watch him regularly, no matter what he says about a movie, I'm like, he's not me. How do I know? I'm going to go check it out myself. So you want to make sure you're trusted. You want to build a relationship with the list.
And I like how you describe that. I think a lot of people forget that a list is a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a digital representation of it, but it's people.
And we remember that when we're on the other side of it. So you've just got to put yourself in the mind of your recipient, of your list member. and think when we call a number for customer services, press 1 for this, 2 for that, 3 for this, #, wait on hold 10 minutes. What's your account number? What's your BERT number? You talk to the next guy, you start all over again. You feel like a number. No one likes that. No one wants to feel like a number. So that's why you communicate with people in a real way. And if you want to really be advanced, you do what's called segmenting the list. And you talk to different parts of your list in a different way. The buyers are different from prospects that have never bought. People that buy often, hyper buyers, are another segmental list, and so on and so. We don't have enough time to get into all the details of it, but you can really build a relationship with a list, especially if you segment them and you speak to them the way they want to be spoken to. You deliver information they want. They will appreciate it. They'll look forward to your next email, your next social media post, your next postcard or newsletter that comes in the mail, whatever way you want to choose to communicate with them. Getting people to look forward to it, that's the key. Then you know you have a responsive list, and a responsive list is the key in any time, but especially in a downtime. If you have a brick and mortar store and there's no foot traffic, boy, you'd be real thankful if right now you had a list of everyone that liked you, knew you, and trusted you. You just offer them something, they send you money.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a huge difference the businesses who can or can't do that right now are facing, right?
Exactly. And that's all I'm saying is, so if you don't think that this is germane to you right now, well, think where you're going to be. All they talk about is, oh, this thing could come back in the fall and we might have to close down again. But think ahead. Where you're going to be 6-8 months from now? Are you going to have a list of a few hundred, a few thousand, tens of thousands of people that know you, like you, trust you, and will listen to your recommendation? And that's the final step, is what to do now with the list that you have a relationship with. You've built it. You built a relationship. Now you offer them things that they feel are valuable that you can make money from. And that doesn't have to be just your own products or services. Like I just said, you could recommend a movie, a book, a product on Amazon, something where you could get a little commission from. Now you don't even, you could be closed for business and deemed non-essential by the draconian government laws that say you're not allowed to function as a business. That's fine. I'm going to recommend the takeout restaurant place across the street, and that guy will give me 50 cents for every order that comes in from people on my list. Boom, now I can bring in hundreds of dollars a day, and I'm in my underwear at home because the government says you can't even leave the house. Boom.
Well, they don't say you have to stay in your underwear, though. Just for the record.
As an aside, I think Amazon sales for shirts are way up and pants are way down.
That is true. That is statistically significantly true, actually.
So I'll just throw that in there. By the way, Amazon has a list. All these companies have you're on a lot of lists. It's time to do what I say is what I call is get on the other side of the register.
Well, and it's such a good point. And I'm going to give an Amazon example to reinforce that, Steve. Today, they announced a major cut to what they pay publishers for book sales. Who the heck could do that except the person who owns the list? Right? No one else could do that. No one else could say to a publisher, yeah, Steve, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to pay you for your book 30%. I'm going to pay you 20%.
So let's translate. What they didn't say is we're going to cut the price of the book. They said we're going to take more of the money into our own pockets. That's the beauty of having a list. Now, I don't recommend that strategy that you betray your suppliers and but when you're Amazon, we're the 8 million pound gorilla in the world. I guess they can do that, and I'm pretty sure people are still going to buy stuff from Amazon.
Yeah, and I agree. Whoever said that, Dee, totally greedy, lame-o move. But it shows you, the reason I bring it up is it shows you the power of you having the list.
Yeah.
You having the list. Part of what we did for today's event, and part of the reason we got 28 speakers to say yes so quick, was we didn't want to mess around. We weren't selling a heavy product on the back end, so we couldn't offer commissions to speakers sending us people. We said, you're going to get a copy of the list. You're going to get a copy of the list. You're going to get a copy of the list. And then we made sure we're attracting people that'll treat you guys honorably.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want that. I don't see any value in that. So.
Except for Steve, we're going to sell him a copy of this.
Yeah, but see, now that's an excellent example, and that's speaking right to my point. If I just get the list of people that came on and watched 27 other speakers and didn't watch me or don't care or don't know who I am. That's useless until I build a relationship.
Perfect
So
example.
now I got to start sending them content and information that they want. Otherwise, they're going to go, who the heck? Oh, yeah, I didn't even watch your thing, or I don't care, or I watched it, and you have a stupid, ugly red Hawaiian shirt. I don't like that guy, or whatever. I got to build just getting the emails. So what? I got to build a relationship with the list.
Love it. 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 Jeff, we've been fire hosing along here. When you turn your camera on, it means you got questions, comments, or insights. So over to you, sir.
Well, I wish Steve would turn his filter off. I want to hear what he really thinks, but thank you, Steve.
Straight Talk Steve, they call me, so I should have prefaced that. Should have warned everybody. This should be a viewer warning.
Yeah, that's why we turned your camera off, because we had to mute it just a little.
Smart move. My beautiful wife Michelle agrees.
I've met your beautiful wife, Michelle. She's amazing. All right, so we have a question from Angela. I love the way she words this. What are some lead magnets that have been most effective for a speaking/coaching business, and which lead magnets should we sunset?
Excellent question. And however, you might not like this answer, but you're asking the wrong person. Here's who you ask. You ask the people on your list. There you go. Okay, we call that testing. But testing is kind of a misnomer, because it doesn't mean you're going to maybe do it or think about do it or do it half something. It means you make that offer to the list. So you say, if you send me your contact information of the bakery, says I'll give you a free cookie, and nobody comes in that day. Guess what? Let's sunset that one, to use your term, and let's try tomorrow and give a free cupcake, or give a free cake on your birthday every year. I'll just keep trying, keep testing new things until people respond, and then I go, bang, I got something, and now I'm gonna quench the fire a little bit. All promotions eventually run their course. So it doesn't mean you just retire and go to the beach and it's going to work forever. You got to pay attention to your numbers and your data, and you got to see when the response starts trailing off, and that's when to start getting some new things in there.
Love it. Love it. And
But
it's so easy.
Your list members let you know.
Yeah, it's so easy to ask them, because you just send them a note saying, hey, I'm working on some new added value content. What can I help you with? What topic, what information would be most helpful for you right now? Give me your top 3 topics. Boom.
Right. And you can even give multiple choice, which helps both of you.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's 2 distinctly different strategies, and Steve knows this, but for people tuning in, giving them a choice empowers a quick answer and is statistically way more significant. Giving them a blank form empowers them, builds more relationship, but is far less statistically significant, because they wander based on whatever words they come up with. So they're very different engagement exercises. The guys at Get Response showed me the data on it. And if they were here, they'd be multiple choice, multiple choice, multiple choice, multiple choice. If you want to answer the question that was posed, give them the choice of some variables.
Well, I'm well known for saying I live in an and world, not an or world. So I say do them both.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Jeff, got time for one more question or comment?
I think the big question would be, I don't have a list. What's the first thing I can do?
Number one, you have to figure out who is your target audience. Who would you like to do business with you? Who would you love to attract as new customers, clients, patients, or members? And then figure out, or go somewhere where they're hanging out, like in a LinkedIn group or a Facebook group or wherever you can go. Well, you can't go in person. See, you can't go in person right now if you're watching the replay, and find out what they might like, and then offer it to them. And the first thing they might not respond, and the next one they might test another one, another one, another one, another one. So first you pick who you ideally would love to do business with you.
Love it. Love it. Great advice. Thank you, Steve. As always, super enthusiastic, super passionate, and you're showing your best side today too. So I appreciate that. As we say up north, 2 minutes for slashing, but that's okay.
I do my best.
They really appreciate this, Steve. Super passionate. Love it. Isn't that awesome, guys? Yeah, share him some love. How can they reach out to Steve? Jeff, I know you've been posting, but what are the key links there for Steve?
Okay, the key link. Here, I'll paste it again, so we got it.
While Jeff looks it up, if you're watching the rebroadcast of this, you'll see a link to Steve's profile, and all the links are there. If you're here live, he just put it in the fresh bottom of the chat. So you can look and go to there you go. Profitfromchaos.com.
There you go.
A free report on how to profit from chaos.
It's a one-page website with a lead magnet. It's my free report, how to profit from chaos. They'll put in their email, and then guess what? They'll be on my list.
Fantastic. Without resorting to unethical tactics like selling fake cures, testing kits, or hoarding toilet paper.
I'm not a big fan of unethical anything.
Yep. Big time. Part of the reason I love you, brother. Thank you so much, Steve. We got to run. James is up next. Everyone, Steve Sipress. There he is. Give it up for Steve.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks for joining us from the land of the setting sun in Phoenix, Arizona.
That's
okay.
my Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Next up, James Waddy. James is a business owner, founder of Business Rich Coaching out of Orange County, California. He's going to talk about creating your own economy. See you in the other room. 4 more to go. Come on, people. Keep it going. Keep it going.